Alright guys, I'm going to talk to you about the fact that in this video I'm giving you my perspective and my experience of coping with chronic back pain all day long, all night long. So I'm not going to give you advice as to whether you should or shouldn't work through pain, whether you should or shouldn't be in work in the first place. But hopefully you might be able to see from what I do for myself to cope with the pain that maybe it might just be something a little bit encouraging. So 3 years ago I had a car crash. Somebody pulled into the side of me and I ended up on the other side of the road and I damaged my back. So as a result I'm in pain all the time. Spent about 2.5 years getting lots of different medical procedures, medications and treatments from GPs, surgeons and specialists. But I remember being 16 years old and a guy saying to me once when I was lifting this big heavy box, I thought, get this up and sort it out, strength, young man. And he says, whoa. He says, you only get one back. He says, if you bust a knee, they can replace your knee. If you bust your hip, they can replace a hip. If you break your back, that's it. There is no coming back from that. So I always remembered this from whenever I was a teenager. And that's basically the truth of the matter. So I had an injury to my back and it's never going to be the same again. So as a result, I am in chronic pain 24/7. Okay, it never lets up. It's just always there. But I choose not to give it this massive part in my perspective that it takes up the majority of my focus, saying this is what I go through every day, the pain and the agony, and I get stiff and I get locked up. I choose not to focus on that. Okay, so what I try to do with my time is I try to focus on the positives. So after all the treatments that I had, they left me with the only options left to me were surgical options on my spine, and you're talking about a 5 to 6 month recovery period. And even then, so after 5 to 6 months I wouldn't have a business, or very much of a business, to come back to. Even then, the statistics of the success of the procedure, very little. 1 in 3 chance of actually being successful and giving you pain relief. 1 in 3 chance it'll do nothing for you. And a 1 in 3 chance, can you guess what it is? It'll make you worse. So the doctor said to me, if this was a successful procedure all the time, he said we would have people lined up around the corner non-stop for this procedure. So I would have a 60% chance of the procedure being for nothing, as well as the fact that I wouldn't have a business to come back to. So I have to try and work through, and the medications I have, because of the specific type of nerve damage that I have, medications aren't really helping. So the situation that it leaves me in is that I have to have a strong mental attitude, a positive mental attitude about my situation and how I push through it. So I could choose to stay at home all day long watching TV, watching a program called Jeremy Kyle, which, if you're across from America watching this is basically the equivalent of Jerry Springer. I am just not that kind of person to stay at home watching TV all day. I would be bored out of my skull. So I choose to work through the pain. Work needs to be done, bills need to be paid. It gives me something to focus on, gives me something that keeps me active physically. I provide for my family, I pay for a mortgage, and I'm trying to set an example for my kids that no matter what life throws at you, you're going to have to work hard, sometimes in many cases through difficulties and trials, if you want to get what you want, or just to look after yourself properly. It's never going to be handed to you on a silver platter. So that's what I choose to do, work through the pain. And I try to feed myself mentally with listening to audiobooks, listening to good music, uplifting. I go to the gym, I try to eat healthily, and I read books as well. So in one of the books that I'm reading at the moment, it talks about how you quantify your time and if it's of value or not. So you put it on a scale of 1 to 5. If it makes it on the scale of even just 1, then it's worthwhile. It obviously has some sort of benefit for you. Doesn't matter what it is, if it's of benefit to you, then you can easily say yes, it's worthwhile doing. If you can't say that it's honestly constructive, upbuilding or positive for you, then why are you doing it? So I try to eliminate wasted time. Okay, we all need to take downtime so we can relax, switch off, and just enjoy ourselves, even if it's doing nothing, because it makes it on a scale of 1 to 5 somewhere in our own personal evaluation of why it's beneficial. Well, I just need to just recharge my batteries. That's fine. So if you can't really give it if you can't even give it 1 out of 5 as to the value, then don't do it. Okay, and that's what I try to do. I'm not saying I'm successful all the time. There's times where I waste my time and I look back and go, wish I didn't do that. So anyway, so what I try to do is day to day push through that pain, and I focus my mind on what I'm listening to, what I've been reading, and I put my focus on the fact of the job of what I'm doing. And then whenever I'm getting back into the van, that's when I feel, flipping heck, I'm stiff and I'm sore and painful, and I get back out and I go and do the next job. And when I get home from work after a long day at work, I've got kids to look after, got to spend time with my wife, we've got to get all the kids sorted with their homeworks, their dinner, get them bathed, washed, ready for bed, read stories to them, and then eventually when they go to bed I can get a few minutes to myself. And you think to yourself, oh thank God, right, okay. And when you sit down and you're starting to seize up and you hear this call from upstairs going, Daddy, Daddy, you get up and do it. No matter what, you're in pain, you got to look after your kids, got to look after your family. So there's priorities there that need to be done more than just feeling sorry for myself. And that's how I try to have a viewpoint on what my situation is, being in pain all the time. That's it. That's what I tried to do. Hopefully that was helpful. If you are in pain, you're not alone. I understand how difficult and frustrating it is, but you're not alone. Hopefully that was helpful and encouraging. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.